Qualified accountant, Roberts is the first non-South African to head up the company in 165 years. This is Captains of Industry. Warren Buffett says that investors shouldn't invest in shares, in stocks, in companies that they don't understand. Now, I know you get highly irritated when people say that they don't understand the Old Mutual Group, but it is a criticism that is widespread, and I know you're doing your level best to try and simplify the structures. Do you concur with the market that Old Mutual is difficult to understand in its current form?
Yes, I would agree with that. Old Mutual has many different businesses. They're all financial services businesses, but there are many different types of businesses. And we're in many different geographies with a lot of those businesses subscale.
Do you, as leader, captain of the ship, sometimes wake up and think, how am I going to orchestrate my day? So many different issues to deal with, so many geographies to grapple with.
I think I'm very fortunate. When I took over at the end of 2008, I put together what I believe is a really quality executive team. I couldn't do my job without having a good team around me. We debate a lot of things. We thrash them out, but I rely on them very much, and we manage.
I want to get the criticisms out of the way, because when you were appointed as CEO of Old Mutual, the market was slightly concerned that you were closely affiliated to Jim Sutcliffe, who potentially had made the wrong capital allocation decisions, and that you were tainted with the same brush. How did you feel about that criticism at the time of your appointment?
I think it's a fair criticism. I've been around in the group since the beginning of 2000. I was the finance director in those early years, and therefore some of the strategic initiatives I was involved in because I was part of the executive management team. In 2005 I spent my time on the Scandia acquisition, and then went off and ran Scandia after that was bought, for quite a period of time. So many of the things that have happened that did go wrong, I could argue were in the period when I was running Scandia, but I was part of the management team at that time, and I take a degree of responsibility for it. But
Scandia was a bright point in the group, and you didn't overpay for the acquisition, which is firmly attributed to your negotiation skills. The US life business, we know that has been the Achilles heel of the group, and many say that was Jim Sutcliffe's baby. It did happen during your period as finance director. Did you at any stage put up your hand and say, we shouldn't go into the US life business, or is it the old adage, hindsight is a perfect science?
No, I think right at the beginning, when that business was bought, Jim and a number of the team had experience of a very similar business to that one. So that was in early 2001 as part of the expansion moving forward. We agreed set targets that business was going to deliver. We agreed that we would provide capital to that business for a number of years, and then after that period of time it had to be producing capital. And I was very much involved in setting that criteria. The fact is that business never reached those hurdles, and a number of market factors worked against it. So when the global financial crisis came, you could argue it's not our fault that many of the bonds defaulted and we had to put more capital in. Everybody in the whole US life industry had that problem, but it did cause the group a problem.
Is it difficult for you to make the decision, as you have set out in your latest strategic update, that you are open to selling that business? You will be looking for a buyer?
No, I didn't have a problem with that at all, because I struggled with the fact that the business wasn't making a decent return for a long period of time. And I have consistently had the view that the business was better off being consolidated as part of another group rather than our own business. That US life business is very different from the businesses that we have in the group.
Who's going to buy it? Do you think anybody will?
Yes, I'm very confident that there will be a buyer, and we will get that business away this year.
Scandia featured, it was very prominent in the group's life. The recent results, very little mention was made of Scandia, and it's been a comment that's I've encountered with a number of market commentators having reviewed the Old Mutual results this time around. Is there any reason why there was no particular emphasis on Scandia?
Well, that's probably my fault if I didn't emphasize it enough, because I think there are some very interesting factors coming through with Scandia. I mean, the biggest growth in sales in any of our businesses across the world happened in the Scandia UK business. So the markets were in the doldrums for the beginning of 2009, and then in the second quarter, Scandia UK grew extremely well. Probably beaten by only one other business, which is our Italian Scandia business as well. So we've been producing good growth. The difference is, in this type of environment, with asset levels being lower, our profitability through the Scandia business was lower.